ABC News political director Rick Klein is joining me now for more on this. Rick, in the nearly decade-long stretch between Sandy Hook and Uvalde, congressional efforts to change gun policies have repeatedly failed. We've had this conversation over and over again. Biden has said he doesn't think that America wants him to be president-senator. But do you think he will rethink that now, especially after listening to his statements last night, and try to get more involved with Congress?
Yeah, last night was a U-turn for him. Previously, he had said he was going to give a little bit more space to members of Congress, but he went out there and he laid out a series of proposals that he said he would do, knowing that Congress almost certainly won't do several of those things. Things like an assault weapons ban, things like changing the age of buying long guns from 21 to 18. Those are big ideas. They're ideas that have some support and pretty considerable support inside the Democratic Party, but there are tense negotiations going on right now in the Senate, where some of those ideas are off the table. Even the Democratic-controlled House wouldn't go as far as Joe Biden. So it's unclear how adding his voice to this changes the equation. And there is some risk, some downside in getting involved in something that has already been developing.
Right. And we heard Rachel say there in her piece, Rick, that bipartisan negotiations are underway in the Senate and some more narrow gun measures as well. There's a chance Republicans could support more limited legislation, you think?
Look, I think there's every reason in the world to be skeptical because we've seen the movie so many times before. But what makes this time look different is that, to the point about that scheduled vote that Rachel mentioned, it hasn't happened yet. If this was purely a political issue, then we would have already seen a vote on the Senate floor. It would have fallen short, and we would have moved on. Instead, Senator Schumer, the majority leader, has given negotiators some wiggle room, and Senator McConnell on the Republican side has deputized one of his top lieutenants, Senator John Cornyn of Texas, to lead the Republican side of talks. If they're able to come to something, it's still not even clear if you've got 10 Republicans that cross over. There will be harsh criticism, of course, from the NRA and other pro-gun groups. But there is a window here for discussions. And it might be that the president, in outlining a bolder vision, makes those discussions look more manageable, more reasonable to some Republicans. It also, though, could scare Republicans away because they've got every reason now to say, look, we were on board until the president made it political again. And maybe it ends up being an excuse for them to walk away.
So just revisit this argument against banning assault weapons and raising the legal age to purchase these guns, especially when it comes to raising the legal age. I mean, a lot of Americans think this is just a no-brainer.
Yeah, and look, I mean, Florida did it from 18 to 21 a few years ago over the opposition of the NRA, led by then Governor Rick Scott, now Senator Rick Scott, who now leads Republican re-election efforts in the Senate. Now, Scott's been pretty silent on this as a national level. So one of the things that you've heard some of the governors say and senators say is like, let's handle this state by state. But you're right, it does seem like a common sense argument that has wide support. On the issue of so-called assault weapons, one question is the definition, that the question of how you label a weapon to be an assault weapon. Automatic weapons are already illegal in the United States. You can't own a machine gun. Semi-automatic weapons are another story. Many of the weapons now that are in use in these mass shootings were illegal for about a decade under the assault weapons ban from '94 to 2004. It lapsed at the time, and since then there hasn't been a huge political will to try to reinstate it.
So finally, Rick, the president has said that he would give Congress space on gun reform legislation. But in his primetime address to the nation last night that we all listened to, he pleaded that lawmakers act. So can Biden just use executive orders to tackle this gun safety issue?
Not for the big stuff. He has banned so-called bump stocks, which make a semi-automatic weapon into essentially an automatic weapon via executive order. He called on Congress to make that legislative. But when it comes to things like changing the ages or outlawing individual types of weapons, there's very little that he's able to do on his own.
All right. Rick Klein, great to see you this morning. Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Kira.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.